Hey everyone, it's Brian, and welcome back to the More For Me and You podcast. Today we welcome on CEO of active Fast Channels, Geoff Clark, and we discuss his 20-year career in the film and TV industry and get a couple of hot takes on where he feels the streaming industry is going. And then later in the episode, we discuss a film that Geoff picked that's playing for free on the free streaming service Momi2 called Find Her. It's a 2022 suspense thriller drama, bunch of crime going on in there. It's a lot of different things. But man, what a wild story. Definitely worth checking out. And hey, if you're enjoying this podcast, make sure you take a moment to go subscribe and follow. And if you can, drop a little like or a comment so we know you're there. Thanks for checking in. And as always, we'll see you in the pod.
Yeah, that's right. You're tuning in to the More For Me and You podcast. That's real interviews, real movie reviews, real people, real journeys. If you real, lock in. I've been working all night, early in the morning. If you hustle high, hustle, you can never waste a moment. That's more for me and you. 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 Let's go.
We got a chance to meet in a pretty awesome place because normally most people that live in LA meet in LA, and that's a typical story, but
that would be a boring introductory story.
Very boring.
Yeah.
Do you remember where we met?
You mean like the actual
Well, I mean, no, you know,
room
I know you
or
what I know you know
the
what city.
country?
Yeah, no, I know you know what city, what country we're in.
Yeah,
we were in France. We were in Cannes.
I do remember that.
So
where were we exactly though?
The Samsung TV Plus.
Oh, when it was the outside thing.
Mhm.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
and that's why I keep joking to you about, you know, I'm gonna buy you a drink at the next Toasted Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I owe you, man. I owe you. I'll get you the next one. But what an incredible place to meet. I mean, there's worse places. The south of France is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
What do you typically like? Do you typically go there like ahead of time, stay a little longer? Or do you kind of enjoy yourself a little bit while you're there?
So I learned over the years that it's best to go, in essence, on like that Saturday, and then try to acclimate as much as you can on that Saturday. Have a nice dinner, pass out. Try to make the Sunday as normal of a day as possible. And now they do, some of the events are kind of like pre-events on Sunday, and at least you can feel somewhat normal for Monday. And you just try not to go too hard on Sunday night at the events. And then usually I try to get all the business stuff out of the way. And then at the end, try to go somewhere fun.
Yeah. Where do you like to go?
This year I went to Nice and Monaco.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was great. I've never been to Monaco before. Monaco's amazing. I want to go for the F1 Grand Prix.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or because I own a $100 million yacht, one of those two.
Yeah.
But
fun story, actually. I
Prix.
went with my dad, and so we went to Monaco. Not for Cannes. This was like years before I even got into the industry, and we went there visiting family. Did a whole trip to see my grandpa in Hungary and everything.
Awesome.
And so we made it there, and we get to Monaco, right outside the Monte Carlo, and I see this just out of control, bright green Lamborghini. This is a week after the Grand Prix, so there's you can smell the money in the air still.
Oh,
it is wild.
Just anytime you go there, you can
absolutely
smell the money.
But this was like right after, everyone that has money is there for the Grand Prix. I mean, that's just it's just a normal party for them, a typical Tuesday for those folks. And so I see this green Lamborghini, and because I'm a little, I don't mind making a scene sometimes in public, especially in places that I'm not from. I see the owner of this car, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, how'd you get your car here?" Because his license plate said Florida. I'm like, did you just Did
you drive it here?
Did you drive it here? Does it breathe underwater? How did you get here? Is it what is that the submarine that the whole excursion on the East Coast? Either way, I like, how'd you get your car here? He's like, no, I brought it here on my yacht.
Of course. Wait, you and your dad didn't bring your Lamborghini on?
We left the Lamborghini at home. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
yeah, so but it's just crazy, like the amount of money that goes through there, and there's the Grand Prix in general is just awesome. I wish we could have been there a week before to like see it in person. It would have been incredible. But yeah, you have to spend some time there. And when you're in Cannes for MIPCOM.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like your favorite industry event? I mean, we've hung out at CES, NAB,
Yeah,
OTTX events, Stream TV.
definitely.
Yeah.
CES is like hit and miss every year. I got COVID at it twice. I don't know if it's like my favorite event anymore, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard to beat MIP in south of France.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but-
and you brought your girl this time. I actually got to
did.
meet her this last one, which was really cool.
Mhm.
And I did get you a free drink there. I got you some tequila there. That was at the Electric party. Shout out to Electric.
yeah,
Good peeps.
yeah, love those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great business.
Yeah, no,
Geniuses.
phenomenal people. I got to see one of their screenings, which was really cool. The Librarians.
Oh, yeah.
but the new version of it. So that was really fun. Hanging out
Yeah.
with Michael Johnson and Steve and just a great group of people. So I got to go to the after party for that and see that. But just South of France can. It's absolutely phenomenal. So
It's tough to beat.
I'm
I
just
wish
happy-
they would do it like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks earlier in the year. So just like a little bit less risk of rain. But-
it has rained a bit
Yeah.
over the last few years. It's been unfortunate. I did hear a story one year where it rained so hard that it completely flooded Cannes and the electricity went out. So, and this was back in the day where like there were no, like you couldn't use your credit card, right? It was cash only and stuff like that. So people like, you couldn't wire anything because there's no internet. Like, and so it's just wild. Like everything's out. You're in a foreign country. Like the event more than likely probably didn't even happen, at least over those days. So just crazy. Like we have been very fortunate in a sense. They're actually my uncle who lives in Grasse, really close by to Cannes. They actually showed me pictures about 2 days before we arrived this year. It was completely
Oh
flooded.
yeah, I saw.
Absolutely just
Yeah. This year there was a week later than it normally is too. So we would have been there for the previous week, which would have been terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this week we hit the perfect window.
I think it is a week earlier this year or a week later. One of the two because it's offset from one of the film festivals I've always wanted to go to is Newport Beach Film Festival.
Oh yeah.
It's usually the same week as MIPCOM.
So
Is what it is. But we can sit here and chat about work all day long.
is MIPCOM going to pay us for this?
Yes,
there-
I've talked to MIP, the RX team to
Great.
cover this. So thank you, RX, for
They should fly
sponsoring.
us out for next year's MIPCOM.
I think so too.
We could do this there, but in MIPCOM t-shirts.
I like that. I like
So they
that
get
idea.
the
Go to the
mileage.
Riviera or get a little setup right on the beach
Yeah,
and
if they pay for it, I'm in.
down. Easy. And then we can go to the Samsung TV Plus thing
Can
after.
we get producer Greg on that? What's the deal?
Craig, you want to go? Want to come to France? Perfect.
All right. great.
Sure. Why not?
Awesome.
Jeff's going to make it happen. So Jeff, I'd love to get a little bit to know about you because we can sit here and talk about business. And I think a lot of times we go to these industry events and we talk about business all the time. We just talk about, what's going on in the industry, what's your company, all this stuff, how we can help you, help me, blah, blah, blah. I think it's really great if we can kind of peel back the layers a little bit and just get to know who you are. So kind of a, I don't know, threefold question, who you are, what do you do, and I don't know, where you're from.
Well, I feel like I'm speed dating here, but no, my name is Geoff Clark. I'm a Gemini.
My name's Jeff.
Like long walks on short piers.
Love it.
And no. I mean, I grew
Shorter
up in
the-
LA.
The shorter the better.
So I grew up in the valley, in a little town called La Crescenta. If you know where the 2 freeway is, it's kind of like at the end of the 2. And was always like fascinated with film and would make my own kind of like silly short films with my stepdad's Panasonic like
Love
VHS
it.
recorder.
Yeah.
And then eventually went to film school at Cal State Long Beach, and traditionally I've been a film producer and produced 60 or 70 movies and a handful of television series. And then in 2016, I went to go work with a company called Futurism.com that a couple of my friends founded and ran their studio there as president. And in that process, we created a ton of content. We did huge numbers on Facebook and all that stuff. And when Facebook changed the algorithm, we our video revenue went down quite extensively in overnight.
Those darn algorithms.
Man, Facebook really screwed a lot of publishers back then, and just didn't care. And so we were scrambling, looking, I had like a 8 or 9 person video team at the time. And, at the time there was no AI, there was no templatizing, there wasn't, but we like cut those things in Premiere, right? I don't know, like Final Cut at the time, Final Cut X. And, and so I was like trying to find more ways to make money. And a friend of mine, good buddy of mine, was the director of strategy at Pluto at the time. And it was like, oh yeah, like this is going to be a thing. And I was like, what is this crappy app? This is never going to be a thing. And then like the more I looked at it, I was like, wait, maybe this is going to be a thing. This is a smart idea.
Yeah.
So we ended up putting together a futurism channel that was just I had 8 hours of content on a loop 3 times a day. And ended up launching it on Samsung TV Plus and Zumo and a bunch of other, Stir at the time. And, Whirl was kind of brand new-ish. And so we would deliver them stuff as like literally on like a hard drive sometimes. And Futurism had a Fast channel. And that's how I learned about Fast. No one knew about it. It just wasn't like a thing. So yeah, so basically through that process, just kind of learn how to do it. And at the time I had a small staff, so we were able to pull things off, and we actually went in like licensed content for the channel at the time, like a bunch of cool like sci-fi short films that we found on YouTube in essence.
Yeah.
And I went out and licensed a handful of docs because I was a doc film producer for years, so I knew a bunch of the indie production or distributors like, Shoutout and Giant and all them that had great docs. And at the time, 1091 or Chicken Soup. And just kind of like fell into it. And then in 2019, in March, we ended up selling Futurism to Singularity University, which was awesome. And I only had a 6-month stay on. And by the time like November came around, I was like, okay, like, should I stay? Should I go? And then I lived in New York at the time, and it was January hit, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm from California. I can't do another winter here. And then I was just thinking to myself, like, why am I here? We already sold the company. Like, what am I gonna do? Sell it again? I'm not even like in charge of the company. But we were having so much fun and making all this great content. And
it's tough when you're having fun, when you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Like all the little nuances or nuisances at that point, like kind of go away because you're enjoying life.
Yeah. But at some point it just was like, not quite all the same people there. Obviously when we sold it, our CEO went off. They didn't need 2 CEOs.
Yeah.
And he went off to go do another thing. And some of the other people in the process have become like really, really like crypto rich because Futurism was the top SEO for like Bitcoin or Ethereum. And so we ended up through that process doing a lot of work for a lot of these crypto companies that were based in Brooklyn. And so everybody started investing in Ethereum when it was like $2, you know what I mean? And Bitcoin was like $700 at the time. And we all were, we're doing all these videos for these companies. So we're like, oh, put a couple $100 there, a couple $100 here. And then eventually the CTO was like, he's like, why am I even here? I make millions on Ripple. Like, I'm out. And like, he quit. Like, our other president had made like millions, so he quit. It was just like, so eventually I decided that my time was over there. And I was just sitting around in New York one winter, and I was like, I wonder if this Fast Channel thing, like, could be a thing.
Yeah.
And so I ended up calling.
And for those that don't know, Fast, free ad-supported television.
Yeah, and it's basically like the cable we grew up with.
Yep.
But instead of being delivered via cable, it's now just delivered via streaming.
Yep.
And so I was just sitting around in New York, and I was like, maybe I should. Previously I had a company that had a deal with 1091 or The Orchard at the time, and we would sub-distribute all our films through them. And so I knew them pretty well. And so I called my friend Danny over there, and I was like, hey, why don't you let me guys build you some Fast channels? And they're like, what are Fast channels? And I was like, let me tell you, for $10,000 a month,
change your life.
I will build you all the Fast channels you want. And so he's like, well, let me give you our list of our library. And he's like, come back and tell me what you want to do. And so I went through their like thousands of movies, carved out 6 channels, which were like an alien channel, a surf channel, whatever their library had. And they ended up hiring me, and we ended up like launching a bunch of those channels on Roku and Samsung. And,
it's awesome.
And there's still, some of them are still in existence. Like the alien channel Unidentified is still out there. And I imagine does well at the time. It crushed it. And then just kept doing that for other people, just as like a consultant for a handful of years. And then eventually that's what kind of became active.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we have like almost 20 channels.
acTVe, AC, big T, big V, little E. acTVe. acTVe. I'm sure you get it all.
Basically.
But I love your logo. I think it's really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Being that's active, obviously you have a lot of, some sports stuff
Yeah.
but you offer some other channels as well. So like I believe you have some faith-based channels like Joel Osteen.
We do.
Is it Osteen or Osteen?
Osteen.
Osteen. Okay.
Yep. And we do that for a company called Senders Media, which is his like agent broadcast business that he doesn't own, but that works for him, that hired us. And yeah, that channel just crushes it.
Mm-hmm.
People love Joel. People love a positive message. He's honestly like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
Like his like, I don't know, whatever sermons or weekly shows are so well shot and scripted.
Very well produced.
And,
Yeah.
he's like a master storyteller.
Yep. I mean, he's been
Which
doing
is
it
why he's
for,
so well.
what, 3 decades now? It's been a while.
He's doing it maybe like 15 years, at least on camera.
Yeah.
But his dad was also a pastor, and I guess he used to film and do all his stuff for his dad, which is really interesting. And when I flew to Houston and met with him, he told me that he wanted to be a filmmaker when he was younger. And you can tell because his production value is unbelievable. It's like CBS level.
It definitely shows, and especially and again, this is the first time I'm being in front of a mic and being on camera, but to do this, you think about all the little pieces that go into it. And so you're always thinking about like, okay, if I sit here and do this and I do whatever, like you think about the people that are also helping you make this show. So how are people seeing me? How is the editor going to be editing and all that stuff? So that's cool that he wanted to be a filmmaker that actually shows in his work.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Like they film every Sunday the live sermons, and it's like it feels like you're like at a CBS booth. It's top notch, and I mean the amount of jib operators, and I mean even when we went into this because they bought the Houston Rockets stadium. I went in there with him, Joel was explaining how they completely redid a lot of it to optimize for sound and to make it feel nice in there. So it's like the amount of thought process that's gone into that place is.
I did not know that
truly
they used that facility.
Oh yeah, and they pack it. I mean, 40 to 50,000 people every Sunday go.
Oh, it's the mega church.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. But
I mean, I don't watch this show religiously. I've seen it, so check out the channel, right? Just to kind of see what's out there. But yeah, huge audiences.
Yeah, and
it's
it
unreal.
Does well.
Yeah,
and you know what you're getting. I think that's the beauty of Fast is like if you can curate a channel and the viewer knows exactly what they're getting. Like I jokingly like say it's like the 1 second proposition.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 1 second if you're going to watch that channel or not. And if it's some weird title of a channel that you don't know what it is, you're not going to click on it.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're a Joel Osteen fan, you see Joel Osteen Network, you know what you're getting. Yeah. Or like our Surfer channel, Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much know like what you're getting.
Yeah.
Or
we have like
Popular Science.
We have like a America's Funniest Videos channel on Mommy too. Right.
Well, I'm sure that crushes it.
It doesn't. It can't be said America's Funniest Videos because I guess like the ABC owns that rights or whatever. But it's like it's America's Funniest or something like that. Like so. Either way, you see it and you're like, oh, it rings a bell and you know what you're getting into. Funny videos.
Yeah. That's why we have Documentary Plus.
Yep.
You know exactly what you're getting.
Which we're going to get on the Mommy too.
Yes.
Yes. Hopefully by the time this episode airs,
send some paperwork over.
Why not? Yeah. Done. Just make it easy. Just like
done.
Just like having RX pay for the podcast, we'll just or pay for our flights over so we can do our podcast in can. Yeah, just send it over, make it happen. Done. So we've talked about your journey, talked about Fast. If you could tell your younger self something that you know now, what would you go back and tell yourself?
Good question. I don't know. I mean, I think as you get older, you learn there's like some shortcuts that I guess you could take along the way. I think if you can go learn from someone or find a mentor who actually like cares that in the future they can be able to pass stuff off to you or that you can at least learn from and go somewhere else or whatever. I think that's really important. I also think when I was younger, especially like in my film producing days or as a development executive, you're always kind of taught that like you have to have a certain amount of quantity going through because film industry is slow. Some movies, even the best movies, Wicked, take 10 years to get made with unlimited budgets and whatever. And so, I think I like focused a lot more on quantity. And looking back, I think like the correct strategy is really focusing more on like what the strategy is to a green light as opposed to kind of like trying to find all the best stuff out there. And I think a lot of filmmakers especially overlook the business element of it and the
100%.
business strategy of it.
Yep.
And I think like fitting into the business model and backing into that, I think if I would have focused more on that, I would have had probably more success in getting films made. And also I would have chose different films to try to get made if I would have known better, like the odds of something getting made based off of what it is.
Yeah.
Like today you look at it and it's like, you want to run the foreign model, you're probably going to do an action thriller, horror, something sci-fi. You're not going to be doing a comedy or drama because those are just impossible to sell. You're likely going to find your
Very
foreign
seasonal.
bankable actor or two that you can guarantee, mitigate your risk. You're going to shoot it in a tax rebate state or country. There's a lot of these things that like, when you're a young filmmaker, you don't really think about. You don't think about if like, oh, well, I'm only going to get partial investment because they're going to collateralize it against a tax rebate. You're like, no, you're like, that character wears a red shirt. You're not like thinking about it as like how movies actually get made.
Yeah.
And that's why I think a lot of filmmakers complain. They're like, oh, that movie's so bad. I can't believe it got made. But really, and that's, yes, movies are very tough. It's tough to make a great movie. But really, it's like, well, that producer did a much better job than you because they were able to get that crappy script made against all of the odds of that.
They were able to sell it. They were able to
because they knew the
make
process.
the right relationships they
know how
to
the
see it get
sausage
done.
is made.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They've like spent the time and built the relationships, all of those things. So I think like that's maybe like in a nutshell, that's kind of like the advice I would give to like younger filmmakers is like, maybe you don't have to have as much quantity, but maybe you just need to find the easiest, least path of resistance to getting something done.
Yeah, we I'm not sure if you know this. I mean, I've put a little bit about it on LinkedIn sometimes, but we started the Momi2 College Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going into our third year, and one of the things we do during the festivals for the films that are selected or the filmmakers that are selected, we actually put on 4 educational panels. One of them specifically about filmmaking, one of them specifically about distribution, and then another one about that we're adding this year is actually we're tweaking one that we did. We're turning it into more about film festival strategy. But those are the 3 that we end with because the one business piece that is not taught is the first one that we do is the pillar of marketing.
Yeah.
And so like everything leads into the next as we so we have the marketing one, then we go into distribution, then we go into filmmaking, and then we go into festival strategy. And these are things that like some schools are teaching, but most of them are not. We're talking to these students and they're just oblivious. Like one of our filmmakers got an offer for it was like 11 years, all rights. And if you turn your film into, or you turn your short into like a series or whatever, they would own the rights for that too. And luckily that student actually was paying attention during our little distribution and distribution panel because they're like, hey, kind of a red flag went off. And he came to me and I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what to do and what not to do because I'm not giving you legal advice, but
probably not a good deal.
Probably not best to sign all your rights away for that long, especially for a short film, right? So didn't make any sense.
So strange.
But it was great that he paid attention. So I'm glad that like those seminars are paying off. And there's other stories that are like that too, that really helped. Each filmmaker comes in like, hey, I learned so much from this one. I learned so much from this one. Like, hey, I didn't even think about marketing my short film on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's where your friends, your family, like everyone that's really there to support you, those are the low-hanging fruit. Just because you're young doesn't mean you can't use Facebook. It's like, go watch a masterclass on Gary Vee and learn how to like use every avenue. If you're not on 7 different social media platforms, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And so like, are you going onto Reddit and doing what you can? You can't really like promote on Reddit, but like you can do it in a way that it's like, hey, I wonder if you could check the lighting on my film for me. Like, it just gets people watching it, dude. Like, that's all it is. So you get really creative with that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's a very important piece to tell your younger self, and to tell, you know, younger filmmakers that may be listening to this. It's great. That's great advice.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, the whole reverse engineering how things are made is probably a smart strategy.
100%. I tell them, start at the end. Start with the distribution. Work your way back.
Yeah.
Start with how you're going to get your investor to make you money.
Yeah.
Or how you're going to make money back for your investor. Start there, work backwards.
Yeah.
And that's actually been a decent strategy that's worked for some people. So
yeah, I think the other piece of advice is like, never wait for anyone.
Just do it.
He's like, gotta do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Just get a camera and go.
Yeah. It's like, you don't have to make like Jaws your first go around.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get better.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You find the ways to like what went wrong and how can I make it better the next time.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about Mr. Beast earlier, producer Craig and I, and one of the things I saw on a podcast that he said, which is the simplest thing ever, but I think it's like, I don't know, it makes a lot of sense. It's just like, he's like, make 100 videos. If it doesn't work after 100 videos, then it's just not meant to be.
Yep.
And if you can't make it to 100 videos, it's not meant to be.
Yeah, we were talking about the other day as well.
So it's like,
yeah,
you know, that's good advice, because it is
Yeah.
consistency, and like, do you really want to do it? And like, you know, being consistent or doing anything is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, La Russell talked about that as well.
yeah.
La Russell, the rapper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said until you, in same very similar story. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't, until you make 100 videos, or until you make 100 podcasts, or until you make 100 whatever it is, 100 songs, 100.
Yeah.
Until you that
10,000 hours.
don't complain.
Yeah.
That you've I haven't made it. Like,
Yeah.
well, you haven't tried.
Yeah.
And so that's great advice.
I mean, you
100%.
look at some people who, quote unquote, have made it, and you know, they're probably like, okay and great or whatever, but really it's like the consistency, and they like just never gave up.
You see you see most people's successes. You don't see their failures.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Great advice. Try to make these last points quick, but industry prediction.
Well, I mean, industry prediction. I have a hopeful prediction.
I love hopefuls.
So
Even way better than
my hopeful prediction is that the like programmatic ad market and all of the like ad engines within the platforms and third party programmatics like get figured out.
Yeah.
And
I hope so. That would be phenomenal.
I mean, I think it has to. I think if we don't, like a year and a half, 2 years from now, none of us are here anymore.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to monetize, and like 20% fill rates is like not going to cut it.
No.
So I'm hopeful, but I think as the data kind of proves, and people are switching from like linear to, you know, streaming is like growing constantly, whether you consider YouTube or whatever, Hulu, streaming, as far as like linear.
Yeah.
It is all headed that direction. It's only going to keep going. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping the advertising or the agencies pick up on that and start.
I think it will. I mean, listen, it's like early fast. The first 5 years, it was like nobody wants to advertise on a third window library that is like, you know, terrible content. But now it's Sony, Disney, A&E. It's all stuff that you would just find on DirecTV or normal cable anyways. So I think that's going to help a lot.
Well, I think one thing that's also really going to help is, and it's like Tubi again, right? But they're doing incredible. They're one of the pioneers. Of course, they're further ahead than most. But to see them showcase the Super Bowl,
Totally.
But yeah, the Fox had the rights for it. Obviously, makes it very easy. And then you're already seeing, like, you go to the Wikipedia page, you're already seeing the other streaming platforms, like NBC has the rights, Peacock, and then you see like it's already there, right? CBS, Paramount.
Yeah.
So the fact that Tubi's doing it because of Fox, and the fact that it's free,
So smart.
and ad supported, it's really good for us, right? Because they're making waves in the market that is really helpful to us as well.
It just
So,
legitimizes everything.
yeah, it does, really does. So I was happy to see that. That's probably one of the biggest takeaways I had from the Super Bowl. Unluckily or unfortunately, I did not win any money in any of my pools. But so that was the one hopeful piece. Lastly, what do you like to do for fun?
What's that?
Fun. It's this 3-letter word. About once a year, you get to not work and hopefully do this. It's a thing that maybe you find enjoyment in.
No, I mean, I don't know. I like to travel, obviously, since we see each other in many other countries and cities as opposed to LA. But I don't know. I mean, I hang out with my girlfriend. I've got a couple dogs. I don't know. I love to surf, snowboard, work out, kind of like all of those types of things.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy. I'm
Just
not like
enjoying life.
skydiving on the weekend or anything like that.
Me either.
Yeah.
I want to go skydiving one day.
Too old for that. Broke too many bones at this point.
Yeah. That'll do it. I got screws in both wrists, so I can barely do push-ups. So, yeah, got to do them on my knuckles.
Damn, you're worse off than me.
Yeah, that's why my knuckles are like always dry. It is what it is.
Don't ever get old.
Dude, it's rough. The older you get, the worse, and everything just hurts. Last word, I'll give it to you, at least for this segment.
Wow. I didn't really prepare.
Anything you want to say? No.
Yeah. I mean, hey, thanks for having me. This
one of
was
those
a lot
Kieran
of fun.
Culkin moments where you just say, I didn't think I was going to win, so I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm just going to,
Yeah, I mean, I said,
wing it.
I don't know. This is about, I don't really have anything prepared, but yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Cool. It's just the first part. We're just getting started. We're going to have some fun in a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come right back.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Starting a small business is difficult, and that's why each week we've decided to promote a different small business that we find intriguing. And this week we've decided to promote a company called FilmUstage. Now, FilmUstage is an AI proprietary software that helps cut down on cost and time associated with pre-production of making a film. And while talking with Jeff, who was a filmmaker, we decided that this would be a great product to talk about this week. So make sure you go check them out at FilmUstage.com. That's film, the letter U, stage.com, to find out more about their proprietary software to cut down on costs and time with your pre-production. And with that, let's go ahead and jump back into the pod.
Jeff, would you like to play a game called This or That?
Sure. Let's rock and roll.
Awesome. This or That is actually brought to you by Coastline Travel. So if you're actually looking to go anywhere in the world and you need some help booking your flights, your hotels, go to coastlinetravel.com and tell them that Momi2 sent you.
Cool. Check it out.
Absolutely. Great people over there. I do all my travel through them. So I'm going to ask you 20 questions, rapid fire. I'm going to bring right back in. First question I always ask to every one of my guests. Everything else is super random. Tacos or pizza?
Ooh. So I love pizza, but I found out I'm gluten intolerant. So now I'm going to have to go tacos with corn tortillas.
Corn tortillas.
I
Love
can't
it.
do the flour,
Yeah, that hurts. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Gotta go coffee, especially while you're in Cannes. Read a book or watch the movie?
Ooh, probably watch the movie.
Gotta watch, especially on Momi2.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a pedicure or manicure? What's your go-to?
Ooh. Massage or back chiropractor?
It was a trick
Can I
question. I'm not
choose?
getting pedicure and pedicure. Massage,
I
absolutely.
don't think I've either done either.
Although a pedicure, I've gotten a couple with my wife, and I will say the massage on the calf, it's great. What would you prefer, villains or heroes?
I mean, heroes.
Got to be the savior. Never remember anyone's name or always mix up people's faces. This is perfect for all of the events we go to.
Ooh.
Never remember anyone's name or always mix up people's faces.
Both are bad. Probably never remember names.
Hey
It's
there.
maybe less embarrassing. At
Hey
least
there,
you know
buddy.
You're not remembering instead of being like, Frank. And he's like, dude, what?
My name's Phil. Ski or snowboard?
Oh, snowboard for sure.
Got to go urchin.
Yep.
Remember Johnny Tsunami?
Of course.
Such
I mean.
Yeah. You mean what? No, I'm just kidding. Window or aisle?
Staple. I usually go aisle.
I'm a window guy. I like to put my head down
I
and
like to
sleep
get
a
up
little
and
bit.
walk, and
Yeah.
I drink a lot of water and electrolytes
gotta
on
get
flights.
up.
And I gotta pee.
Yeah, that happens.
Those
Singing in the shower or singing in the car?
Ooh, I'm gonna go see Singing Never.
Never. Not even if people can't hear you.
I'm not much of a singer.
You're a rapper? Is that you? You're getting down with
Yes, that is definitely me.
the chronic Dr. Dre. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dark chocolate or white chocolate?
White chocolate.
Thank you for saying that.
Yep.
Everyone says dark chocolate. White chocolate's the way to go.
Yeah.
Asia or Europe?
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Europe.
Europe's a great place.
I love Asia, but I'm banned from Indonesia, so I can never go back to Indonesia. So.
Oh, I want to hear that story. Oh, can you make it quick?
Don't make a documentary that's anti the Indonesian government. And then go on CNN with Piers Morgan and be like, fuck the Indonesian government.
That'll do it.
It's not going to go over well.
No.
Yeah,
I would not see that
also
going well.
bring like a celebrity with you.
Yeah.
So, like Ryan Phillippe narrated the film. So then both of us are like, fuck Indonesia, like genocide. And they did not.
So you're on a blacklist.
Yeah. So no Bali for me.
You going to a concert or a sporting event?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Concert's really fun.
They're not supposed to be easy questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with concert on this one.
Let's do it. Who's your favorite concert? Or what's the favorite concert you've ever been to?
I mean, I've done a bunch of the Coachellas over the years. I went to an event called Sundream last year. That was put on by Rufus Du Sol. They do like their own concert kind of thing in Baja. Awesome.
Very cool. Are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Who are these people?
There you go. Yeah. Vampires or
are they
werewolves? Something like
is
that.
that a boy band?
I was hoping I was going to catch you on one of those. Be like, what a nerd. Rock. You got to rock one. Mullet or man bun?
Oh, mullet for sure.
Yeah. I can see you with the mullet.
Yeah, totally.
A little party in the front or party in the back, right? Business in the front.
I've rocked it in the past.
Let's do it. Let's bring it back.
Man bun's just a lot of time commitment to get
true.
all the way to man bun.
True. And I know you have Documentaries Plus, so this is kind of a, a little bit of a, I don't know. It's maybe you'll surprise me. Documentaries or biopics?
Like scripted biopics?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
I'm gonna go with documentaries.
Documentaries. I mean, you have your own channel about
But
it.
I did love the Menendez brothers on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Very good. And another one that kind of goes off your channels, but winter sports or summer sports?
Summer sports.
Yeah.
No,
Favorite summer sport?
I'll take the sun and the beach any day.
100%.
Yeah, surfing.
Surfing.
Yeah.
Short or longboard?
Uh,
That's not on the PJ.
Depends on the wave.
Yeah.
And like what kind of shape you're in.
You ever surf down to San Diego?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Go down to like Point Loma?
Yeah, and San Onofre and Cardiff by the Sea.
Yeah. I went to college at Point Loma, so that's what.
Oh,
You got
epic.
I think it's like the
Beautiful.
second top 2 or 3 surfing dorm
I'm sure.
or surfing school, right? The dorm was known for the dorm though. Young Hall, like so many surfboard. Like people,
I'm sure.
kids just literally go to school there just to surf. It's crazy.
Sounds awesome.
Give advice to your younger self or speak with your older self.
Give a what to my younger self?
Would you rather
give
give
advice?
advice to your younger self or would you rather speak with your older
Ooh.
self?
I would say give advice.
Give advice?
Yeah.
Because if you speak with your older self, you'd be getting advice from where
Yeah,
you are
but
today.
like if you give to your younger self, could you change the future?
Maybe. Who knows? Back
Yeah.
to the Future. You'll have to ask
Who
Doc.
knows?
You'll have to ask Doc Brown. Nick's on Second or Parker's Lighthouse. If you don't know you went to school a while ago, so maybe they weren't there. These are restaurants in Long Beach. So I was top 2 restaurants in Long Beach.
Dude, anything on Second, Nick's.
Anything
for
on
sure.
Second? Okay.
Yeah.
Nick's on Second. There it is.
Anything in Belmont Shores.
Yeah, these are I tailored that one right for you, and that
I haven't
failed.
thought
That
about-
backfired.
I haven't thought about Belmont Shores.
What was your favorite
Nick's.
restaurant in Long Beach when you were going to school?
So terrible. I'm going to say this publicly, but when I was in college, I worked at Joe's Crab Shack in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And that was still when like the waiters had to like dance, and whatever, and you do the Cotton Eye Joe and
You
shit,
still remember all
you
the
know?
dances?
Sadly, a few of them, yes. I mean, the song comes on, it's like trauma just goes flying at you. You know what I mean? And you go into this like robot mode of the dance.
That's how you won your girlfriend over. There you go.
Yep.
Make a movie or create a fast channel.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Went there. Make a movie and put it on your fast channel. There it is. Last but not least,
Do both parallel tracks.
pay for the subscription or endure the ads.
Endure the ads.
Endure the
for
ads.
sure.
People are soft.
Endure them all. Wait, you never watch an NFL game or something? Imagine no ads in an NFL game. what we do during the TV timeouts, look at Taylor Swift more.
Yeah, and then we'd boo her, right? Because that's what happened at the game. That was a big moment. Felt really bad for her, actually.
Yeah, kind of uncalled for.
Yeah, it was really.
I'm not even like a Swiftie or anything. It's just weird.
It's Philly fans, Craig's a Philly fan. So
I mean, don't fuck around with Philly fans.
it's true.
Yeah, you get stabbed.
My mom's a Philly fan.
My
She's
best
from
buddy
South
Ryan's
Jersey.
Philly fan.
Yeah.
Eagles rock. Eagles crushing it the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this year. But.
Was that fun? Did you enjoy
Yeah,
yourself?
it was fun. Thanks for having
Great.
me.
Well, again,
Super
if you're
show.
looking to go to different places in the world, go to coastlinetravel.com for all your travel needs. Flights, hotels, excursions, whatever. They do it all. They're great.
Sweet.
Even if you're looking for your a group travel.
I'm going to go.
Take your team. Perfect. Coastlinetravel.com.
Promoting your podcast is hard, and that's why each week we take a moment to promote a different podcast that either we enjoy or a guest enjoys. And this week, Jeff and I decided to choose The Mindset Mentor. These are quick little episodes by Rob Dial that focus on the motivation, direction, and focus in life. And with Jeff and I always on the go being executives of streaming services, we wanted to make sure that we focused on the little things. And if you're looking to do that as well, make sure you go check out the Mindset Mentor podcast. It'll definitely be worth your time. And with that, let's jump back into the pod.
Cool. Well, that was a lot of fun. I did task you with something, though, so we can get right into that if you'd like to. We found a movie on Momi2.
We did.
And it's your choice. You picked Find
more or less, yeah.
Her.
Yeah. Once I found her.
Once you found her,
I knew.
You wanted to find her. So Find Her from 2022. It is a kind of a crime drama, a little bit of action, kind of going a lot of different things there. But
mystery.
Little mystery. A lot of different aspects going on, but they're trying to find her. So if you haven't heard of it, you haven't seen it, let's go and watch the trailer right now.
Sometimes a girl just needs to forget her problems. Help me forget.
Beth Marks? Sorry about your father.
Who are you?
Isaiah Slade. I saw on the news how your sister Sloane is still missing, and I want to help find her.
What are you, a cop?
Used to be.
I had an accident. These huge chunks of time just disappear from my memory. I didn't know where I lived. I didn't know who I was.
You don't trust me?
I do, just not with my life.
Well, you like hanging out so much, you wouldn't mind coming back down to the station, would you?
We got us a coyote in here.
Should I get out the rifle?
Everything's on a knife's edge.
How well do you know Sloane?
I was here when she was born. I taught her how to ride.
You think I have any loyalties to her after what I know?
Don't press me.
Whoa. That was invigorating. So
that was the trailer.
That was the trailer. Yeah. See? Right back into it. Yeah. We're having fun here. So Find Her from 2022 from director, writer, and producer. I'm going to make sure I get his name right because it's a lot of different letters that look the same. But Nick McCallum.
Damn.
He did a lot of things in this
multiple
film.
hats.
Multiple hats. But that's the indie world, right?
Yeah, totally.
So,
that's what you got to do.
And we actually got this from KDMG. So KDMG was the distributor for this film. Shout out to Mr. Kazmarek. And it's a great film. So what were your first thoughts on the film? And granted, we're going to talk about this, keep it spoiler free as much as we can.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah, you know. Okay. We want people to watch it. You know,
I don't want to ruin it.
It's on Momi2. People can go find it for free. You can watch it.
That's not fair to other people.
Yeah, we don't want to tell them everything.
Filmmakers and whatnot.
Yeah, but I mean, you were a filmmaker, so it's great. Like, what were your first thoughts on the film?
I mean, I think the thing that stood out most to me was just how well shot it was.
Mm-hmm. Cinematography was great.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's like partially just of the cinematographer or partially due to Nick, who clearly is wearing multiple hats. But it seemed like a lot of the shots were like well thought out and planned, and I really like the color grading. It just looked like not that it's not a real movie, but it looked like a well funded produced movie.
Yeah, one of my friends, when they were making this like indie sci-fi thriller that we actually premiered it on Mommy too. They said I was on their podcast, and they're like, yeah, the biggest thing we had in mind, we just wanted to make it look like a movie. Yeah, it's like that's a great goal.
Listen, we are so spoiled. People underestimate how hard it is to make a good movie. Even to make a mediocre movie is really, really hard.
100%.
There's a million variables.
So many variables. I mean, you could be a great writer, great storyteller, and you get the wrong cast.
I mean, you see movies with all the money in the world that are terrible. And then you see movies with no money that are amazing. It's just like there's so many variables to go through to make a successful movie. And also, art is subjective. This could be someone's favorite movie ever.
It could be.
It may not be my favorite movie ever because maybe I love the Avengers or whatever, Tommy Boy or some stupid shit. But like, it's a well done movie. Like I would be, if I had produced that movie, I'd be proud that like I made a movie that you can watch from beginning to end that feels like a real movie.
Yeah. So let me throw you another little curveball about Mr. Nick McCallum. He was also the lead role.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually thought he was pretty good.
So imagine that. He directed it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wrote it, produced it, and starred in it.
I wonder if he financed it too.
Maybe. That'd be good to look up. But I mean that's a man of many, many hats. And to be able to direct a film that you're also starring in, that is a phenomenal hurdle to try to jump over. I mean, that is very difficult.
You got to be really well planned.
Usually there's like a co-director, right? But there was no one mentioned. So for him to be able to put this together was really well done.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Fun fact, you know who else just wrote and started a movie? Justin Baldoni. It Ends With Us. Have you heard of that? God. Nothing controversial about the movie at all. But it's tough. To do it all is really
viral moments. Good for you.
I love Justin, longtime friend. We actually were on the track and field team together.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he's been in the news lately.
For what?
I don't know. What have you heard? No.
What do you mean?
No, never mind.
But yes, I think this guy Nick did a good job.
He did.
It's a lot of work. People underestimate the amount of work, and like this movie had like a ton of locations and like a pretty extensive cast.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of these people were like his friends or other people that he like have done other movies with or whatever. But still, like it's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of groups of like filmmakers that work a lot together, like on each other's films and all that stuff. So yeah, I'd be really curious to see. But he's been in a lot of other stuff as well. So one thing that did stand out to me though, there was a lot of bumps, as in a lot of snow, a lot of. This dude had quite the extracurricular activity of right to his nostrils, like every other scene.
Do you think it was like Full Method? Do you think it,
dude?
Or do you think it was like creatine?
Honestly, in order for him to direct it,
it could be
produce it, write it, and star in it, I wouldn't be surprised if that was pure method acting. Because I mean, to get all those hats worn, you need a lot of energy.
Yeah. When did he sleep? Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe they just never slept and they shot the movie just continually for 7 days.
Just keep the camera rolling.
Yeah.
Don't stop. We'll fix it in post.
There's multiple crews just rotating every 8 hours.
Imagine the editing bill on that. That would have been wild. My other thing is kind of on the storyline. What were your thoughts on the storyline?
I mean, I think it's good. Listen, it's really tough to do these like thriller drama movies. You know what I mean? Especially when you don't have cast. Like, you look at like The Departed or something or whatever. You're like, of course we're going to show up because of the cast. I mean, like I said, I think it's a pretty well produced and pretty well done movie. I'd be curious to know what the budget was.
Yeah.
And where like the money was spent. Because a lot of it I think like went on screen. I think like probably a downside of being like a producer, director, kind of writer combo and doing like all of those things all at once.
75K. There it is.
Oh shit!
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. That dude, gem. That is a gem of a movie for
75 grand. There's
people don't understand how hard it is to make a movie, let alone for 75K, let alone with that many locations and talent. Dude,
I'd love to know the numbers on the back end of it because, and I can just ask Kyle, but love to know what that film made. I mean, honestly, there's no way they didn't make more than 75K. If that was their total budget,
even if it didn't make any money, I think for Nick, probably as like a calling card, this is a great piece.
100%. It's a good CV for him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there was a lot of like great decisions made with that movie.
Yeah.
It's when you have no money for cast and you're getting your friends and stuff, you're not going to get like Oscar-winning performances out of them. And in a drama, like, a lot of that is relying on epic performances, which is probably why he's most of the movie. It's what he can trust. He knows he can show up and act.
Mm-hmm.
And, he may not know that about the rest of the cast that he has.
Yeah, I do wish that it was a little more concise and they spent more time on character development, at least in the film. The only thing is it's tough to do that with a lower budget, though, because you don't have as much time, right? You got to get in one or two shots, right, real quick. And that's the only thing I wanted a little bit more of, just a little more character development, a little more depth there. They did it with a couple of the characters, but I think there's a few more they could have gone a little bit more into. Even like Felix, the hand, like the ranch hand kind of guy. I think he had a very big influence on the film, yet he was only a very small part of it. And that was actually Stelio Savante. So I got a little cheat sheet here because there's a lot of names. But Stelio Savante, he's also in SWAT.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's in some other stuff. Richard Gunn was also in this. He's known for Clemency. And then John James is actually a really big name from older television, but Dynasty.
Oh. Which one was he? Was he the sheriff guy?
No. John James was the dad.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Sorry,
the guy who's he dies in the very beginning, right? And he's just talking through talking at the beach and talking to the guy. Yeah. So he's the reason why the whole story is existing. Because he goes back because this guy dies and then he's trying to find his daughter, right? So find her, right? So who would enjoy this film?
Good question. Do you think filmmakers, when they make a movie, think like who the movie is for all the time? Or do you think they just make it because they think it's cool and they just want to make it?
I think it depends on if they want to make their money back.
Oh.
So I think you bring up a great point that this could have been just a really good resume builder for him. But you also, even with 75 grand, I think whether he financed it himself or how he got money, you still want to make it back, right? I mean, you still have to have somewhat of an idea.
Do another one.
Yeah. So, I mean, the goal is to be profitable and hopefully roll that into your next one and everything. But I think maybe we just have to ask him, right? I mean, that's going to be the main determination for that. Because is it where you want to make his money back or just want to make a great film? Because I think that determines who you're making the film for. I mean, obviously a lot of crime, drama, thriller type people are going to enjoy this. But I feel like my wife, who's not very big into this type of a film, would have enjoyed it because she likes the crime series type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if almost this could have been better as a series. I think crime dramas are really well done as series anyways, because you're trying to you get to the next cliffhanger of
do more character development,
who it is that's going to be the killer, or who it is that did this, and blah blah blah, right? So that's why I want more character development, because I just like those crime series. Maybe. Final thought. I'll give it to you. Final thought on the film.
I don't know. I mean, I think, like I said, getting a film made at all, I think, is a huge accomplishment. So props to the filmmakers for getting a movie made.
Absolutely.
And it looks great. I hope they make all the money back, and I hope they get a shot to make another one. Maybe make an even better film, because that's the whole kind of goals filmmakers. Each one gets a little bit better or bigger, or hopefully hits the box office or something. But
for sure. Well, very last thing, love you to look into this camera right here that is pointed right at you. let us know where we can find you, or find your work, or find your stuff, like find your channels. Where's the best way to know more about you or more about acTVe?
Well, that is a good question.
I mean, we can find you on LinkedIn, but
yeah, I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Is there a website?
Geoff Clark, acTVe.tv. Yeah, it's probably like 2 best places.
Easy.
Yeah.
Peasy.
Easy breezy.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for spending time with us a little longer than expected, because we had a mic issue in the beginning. So
we did it. We persevered.
We made it through.
Yeah, much like the cast and crew of Find Her. They persevered to the end.
Great. Good. You're such.
Yeah, I wrapped it all
You're
up
so
there.
good at tying that in.
Yep.
And next time we'll have chicken wings. Okay.
Deal.
Sorry they didn't show up. Awesome, Geoff. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for spending your time with us today on the More For Me and You podcast. If you've made it to the end, we appreciate you. Now, go do us a quick favor. Please like, comment, and share this episode. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode with the incredible guests we have coming up. You can also follow us at Momi2 Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. Oh, and for your next movie night, check out the Momi2 app. It's free and packed with amazing movies and shows you've probably never seen. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the pod.